The year 2014 was one of the best deer seasons I've ever had, and also one of the most challenging. There was literally only three shooters that I had on my properties that I was going after. The EHD of 2012 still had our numbers down, and especially our numbers with mature deer. So we scouted our tails off, and it was hard to find those shooters. As luck would have it, one of the biggest deer I've ever had the opportunity to hunt was coming to one of my soybean food plots every night. With my quest to get the deer we named Westerkamp on film, I realized that solo filming wasn't a good option. So I called an acquaintance of mine at the time who shared a similar filming passion and said, "Hey, I got this monster deer coming to one of my food plots. You want to try to make it happen?" And without any hesitation, he said, "Let's do this." And we've been filming ever since. Cody and I devised a plan, and on September 4th was the first time we went after Westerkamp. For the first 3 nights, we saw him every single night, but just couldn't make it happen. Well, September 7th, on the 4th night, is a night I'll never forget.
All right, it's September 7th. We just got set up here in our blind. We're hunting over a soybean food plot with biologic radishes planted behind him, and I think it's just a matter of time that he makes a mistake.
Westerkamp was a deer that came out early only if there were a lot of deer in the food plot. Well, as a lot of deer started filing into the food plot, we knew it would be a good night.
There he is. Just underneath this tree stand. That Westerkamp. Yep.
He read the script, but he just didn't come within shooting range. He followed the rising moon to a T, and each day as the moon rose later and later and later, he came into the field later and later and later. We had one more encounter with him on November 11th, but it was well after shooting light. Several weeks later, I received a phone call from one of the neighbors a couple miles away to help him track a deer with my dog Towser. I wasn't able to make it that night, but he said it was a big white deer with forks. He never found that deer, and we haven't seen him since. Well, October came and went. Let's see if we can make it happen in November. Well, sometimes to be successful, you just have to put in your time. It was November 21st. It had warmed up 30 degrees, low pressure, sprinkling outside, northwest wind 15 to 25 miles an hour. It was honestly a day I didn't expect to see much at all. I grabbed my camera and my bow and decided to sit in a spot that had very easy access, and it ended up being the right move.
Good morning. It is the last day of rifle season here in Nebraska. And in November, I'm actually bow hunting. That's why I have hunter orange on still, because of the rifle season. It's Sunday morning. It's raining a little bit here. We're just sprinkling. Low pressure. Wind's blowing about 15 to 20. It's really not what I would call a great morning to expect to shoot a big deer on. But you gotta put in your time. Buck coming, buck coming. I'm filming by myself here. I can't believe that just happened. I cannot believe that just happened. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, God is good today. It's still rifle season here in Nebraska. And that's probably my biggest bow kill. I don't know. I just saw that he was a shooter, honed in on him, and it's been a tough season. With EHD, our numbers are down from 2012, and it's just been really tough hunting. And I've hunted a lot, and you just gotta put in your time. I didn't even know where I was gonna sit this morning. I hadn't sat here all year long. I mean, it's just crazy.
It is about 4.5 hours after I shot this buck. We reviewed the footage, and it was a very steep angle. He was only maybe 10 yards tops away. So we gave him 4.5 hours, and we're coming back to recover him. I got a deer dog in training, a deer recovery dog. See it? Name is Towser. He's done 2 deer tracks so far, and this will be his 3rd. We mounted a GoPro to him. Maybe we can get some cool shots of him tracking. Oh, there he is. Hey, there's a buck right there. Towser tracked the deer. Towser was on the right. Tracked the deer. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. The PSE in the rage, he was gone as soon as I heard him crash. Rigor mortis is set in. Man, I'm telling you, this deer ran, what, 60 yards tops?
Yeah.
And expired. It was a steep angling shot. We were a little concerned that it could have been a single lung, but this deer is a extremely nice deer. It's been a tough season here. We don't have a ton of shooters because of EHD from a few years ago. This one was a survivor though. He's old enough, he survived through it. But it's been a tough year. I've hunted a lot, and to bag a deer this nice with a bow is awesome. I was able to harvest my biggest bow kill to date, chase one of the biggest deer I've ever seen, and although 2014 was extremely challenging, it's still a year I'll never forget.